Good morning, y'all. Happy Caffeine Connection.
You have your phone, good, because I don't have mine, but mine never works on here anyway. Good morning, everybody.
It has been one of those amazing mornings.
It has been amazing.
We have this
website or this app that puts, so you have the question on the bottom. It puts that on there for us. And so when we go live through the app, and it's awesome. Love the app. However, this morning when we went to go live, like everything's set up actually go live, it's not logged into our Facebook, not logged into the app. Like, oh, nice. So we've been quickly remembering passwords and retyping stuff, but we are all set. Whew. Deep breath. Coffee. Cheers, my love.
Cheers.
Ah, Coffee Connection, best part of the week. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Brooke and Elise. Good morning, you guys. It is starting to get cooler here in Texas. We went for our first walk where I got to put on a hoodie, and it felt still a little chilly. Although I had shorts on, but.
Yeah, I wore shorts and a t-shirt, but I wouldn't have minded having a hoodie on, to be honest. Probably would have felt nice. Snugly warm.
How is it in Nashville and California?
This is probably California weather. Actually, what we're calling chilly. It's probably like 65 outside right now. We're like, ooh. But it's crazy here because sometimes you go months and it never even drops below 80.
Yeah.
Texas living.
I prefer it like this, so I guess we should move back to California.
Yes, we should.
The best weather.
It poured rain yesterday, which I think is so fun. Lightning, thunder, rain. I recorded the podcast yesterday. Thunder in the background of the podcast, so that's going to be fun if any of you are listeners.
Did it really make that sound?
Yeah.
You don't think you can hear it, though, in the podcast?
Oh, no, you can.
Oh.
Yeah, I edited it afterwards, and I could definitely... I could hear the thunder.
I would have just told the thunder to please be quiet because you were recording a podcast.
I would have, but I liked it in there.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you allowed it?
Uh-huh, exactly.
Brooke said 75, Ben still getting up into the 80s. Still up into the 80s. Wow, I'm actually surprised. And Elise said, I put on a long sleeve for the first time this morning. Yes! I love this fall weather. And Brooke's ready for cool weather. Have y'all had any pumpkin spice lattes from Starbucks?
Have you, Whitney?
Yeah, a lot. No, I really try and limit myself to 2 a week.
She's got pumpkin spice boundaries.
Yeah, it's so good. But I was actually drinking it yesterday, and I think I hype it up so much in my head that while I was drinking it, I was like, I think I like thinking about it more than I actually like drinking it. It's kind of like Christmas. The anticipation is so much better.
We are planning to do, possibly, it's not guaranteed. We are, I can point to it, planning, we're planners, to do possibly a pumpkin day on Saturday. Carve some pumpkins, have some pumpkin spice, Starbucks, roast the pumpkin seeds.
Yeah. Any ideas for what other pumpkin activity we could do?
We'd love to have your pumpkinness.
Pumpkin flavor, pumpkin.
infiltrate our day. Are there any pumpkin movies? I guess you probably don't want to watch a movie. Pumpkin activities, I guess.
Brooke said, oh, Brooke and Annalise, not on my protocol. And Brooke, you're still on 90 days of no sugar?
She's got to be at least halfway through that.
Yeah, you're probably like, what, like 80 days down. I'm really probably making you mad right now. I'll be having one November 14th. Oh, okay. Yeah, so that's like 30 days away.
Yeah. Oh.
Nice.
A little bit more maybe.
Well, make sure that you call us when you have your pumpkin latte so I can run to Starbucks and we can drink it together.
Yeah, it's one of the coolest pumpkin things I've ever seen. There's a surf contest in Manhattan Beach where people surf in costumes, probably coming up fairly shortly. And this guy surfed with a pumpkin on his head with the eyes cut out, like paddled out on his surfboard rode a wave. Unfortunately, it was a really strong shore break that day, so the waves were breaking like really close into the sand, and so everyone had to take these like very quick dips down the wave and then wipe out on almost every ride. And so when this guy wiped out, he got up and he's standing up and staggering around because the pumpkin had spun on his head, and so now he couldn't see. He's like just head in a dark black pumpkin with the eye hole sticking out the back. And I was like,
sharks probably surrounding him. It's
No
like, na na
sharks.
na 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 na.
Sharks. They're like this big.
No, they're not.
But anyway, I think of that whenever I see pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns. And
Good morning, Cindy.
I'm like, man, I wonder how claustrophobic it was for that guy.
Yeah, that would be awful. So, Jake, are you a planner?
In some areas of life I am, and some I'm not. But that is what I'd like to talk about today. And we would really be interested to find out if you are a planner. Well, I did that point pretty good. If you're a planner. And really, I guess it seems like there are people that are planners, and there are some people who right away are like, no, I don't like to plan. I like to be spontaneous. I'm looking for someone spontaneous. And then other people are like, no, I always have to have a plan. And so sometimes we like default to one or the other. Like I'm more of a planner than I am spontaneous. And then other people I think are more spontaneous than they are planners. But I'm curious if you like that. If I lean toward planning, and I would like to go even further toward planning. And so
What do you mean further?
like I'd like to be a better planner.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
like on this spectrum. It's hard to do my hands on here. On this spectrum of planning versus spontaneous, I'm probably like here, and I would actually like to go more this way.
Wow, that's a big spectrum.
Thanks. Just because it crossed over
You really
your
wanted
body.
to cross over into my body.
First of all, I like to be close to you, and second, I was trying to use
What is the spectrum?
the boundaries of the screen.
You're not even in it.
Help me.
There you go.
There's the spectrum of, if that's more clear for
There's
you
your
then, where the
spectrum.
planning spontaneity spectrum is. Oh, my giant bicep held my shirt up.
You love showing off your arms.
I don't. Are you a planner,
Man.
Whitney?
Brooke said that she's with you, Jake. Brooke, you're such a Jake fan. Get off his bandwagon.
Probably live a sweet life.
I love Jake. Oh, I'm just kidding.
You married him.
Cindy. Yeah. Cindy said, I like to have a plan, but I can plan to be spontaneous. Oh, that's a good one.
It's actually really insightful. And that's what I think happens a lot, is I think that a lot of times people resist planning because they think it feels restrictive. And they're like, no, I don't want to be restricted. I like to be spontaneous. But that is a plan. Like, I think Cindy is actually right on the money that is a plan. Because if you're like, oh, should we plan for this? No, I'm not going to plan for this. By saying, no, I'm not going to plan for this, that actually is a plan.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And so it's
Yeah.
kind of a weird, I don't know, it's kind of a weird space.
Yeah, I agree. I think you could put it on your calendar. Do something spontaneous, and then give yourself like 2 hours. However, I would
I almost
spend.
spit my coffee. My calendar, my spontaneity.
Well, yeah, that's how.
Hello,
that's
Google
how-
alert. Oh! Time to be spontaneous.
What are you doing today? Well, on my calendar right now it says be spontaneous. So,
At
do you have
10:30.
any ideas?
I have to leave 10:30, 11:30 open for spontaneity. Other than that, I can do stuff.
Oh man, that one made me a little teary-eyed. No, but actually yesterday I had a plan to take Duke to his training class. And I was like, man, we've been so busy. I will train him here, but it'll actually save me probably 45 minutes because I don't have to go to the training place and back. So I didn't have a plan of how I was going to spend my free time. And that feels more overwhelming because I'm like, oh, now I need to make a decision. And I don't feel like doing anything. What I feel like doing is turning on the TV, eating Talenti, and just being by myself, zoning out. However, because I had something planned and wasn't sticking to my plan, I made sure that I was doing something else productive, and it was really rewarding. But I'm learning that about myself. I prefer to have every space on my calendar planned. And that even means like when I'm resting, I'm planning my rest. When we go on a date night, we plan our date night. Walking Duke, we plan when we're going to walk Duke. But I feel like there's so much freedom in that, because then I don't have to think about, do I feel like doing this? Should I do this? Well, I know I should do this, but I don't feel like doing that. So how, and it's just all this mind chatter.
I think another big freedom that offered you, because it was not that long ago that we decided to
by the way, Brooke said she was crying.
To do that.
Are you okay?
To do that more planning. And one of the things that we both noticed that we liked about it was that it lets you know that your free time is free time. And it takes away the anxiety that sometimes comes when you are doing something that's maybe not necessarily productive, or not productive like towards your business, or not productive towards, cleaning your house, or, whatever. Like it, for me, I'd grab a board and just go out onto the lake. And
productive rest.
It's good to know that when I'm out there, I don't have to be dealing with the mind chatter of, oh, should I be writing a podcast right now? Should I be doing whatever? Because that's already on the calendar in a different spot. And this is the spot where we said, oh no, I'm going out on the lake right now.
Recently, I feel like I've been the busiest I've ever been, which is, it's good. But outside of Fit Bar, I'm also wanting to write a book. So I'm planning that. I'm learning a new marketing technique. So that requires a lot of watching videos and putting that into good notes that we can use during our work hours, and then taking a Toastmaster class in a women's Bible study.
And she has a speech due.
We're leading a Bible study at our house, and then Paige has games on Thursdays. So I feel like my free time has to be, and training Duke, because he's only 6 months, almost 7 months. But I feel like my free time has to be so intentional that when I'm resting, it really needs to be intentional rest. But I love it, and I wouldn't really want it any other way. Brooke said she's chuckling about the planned spontaneity, but I absolutely understand about planning. Free time, so you're questioning yourself on what else you should be doing. I like the idea, definitely I can use.
So what about this idea of the fear of missing out?
And Jennifer said she's not good at planning.
A bad planner.
A bad planner.
That so I think that the big resistance that I feel and that we hear from people most often is that, well, what if I plan and then something better comes up? Like I've got my plan and then I feel like, oh dang it, now I'm like shackled. When something up comes out, what does that feel like to you? Does that seem valid, or how do you manage that in your day?
Yeah, I think that's a really good question. For me, it has to be something really good. Like, I know that sounds bad, but I'm really intentional with who we spend our time with. And when I get invitations to go to a women entrepreneur meeting or small group or other opportunities, I have to go back to my priorities, and then I filter it through that. So like, is this part of my priorities, and what am I giving up if I decide to go up to this opportunity? So to answer your question, I would say that I try not to. There's still a little bit of temptation to, for sure. Like there's a conversation that I have in my head of, is this something that I'm going to be mad that I missed out on? Mm-hmm. Like this Wednesday, there's a really good women entrepreneur meeting on Wednesday or tonight, but we have our Bible study that we have at our house. And so I had a whole conversation in my head last week that I was going to tell Jake that I was going to go to that meeting.
What? I've never heard this conversation.
And that he needed to do our Bible study. But then I had to remind myself of the priorities that I've set for this season, because they do change, and then be like, nope, it's not on my top priorities. So
Coffee and connection really helps our communication. I never would even.
Yeah,
didn't
I wasn't even communicating that to you
happened.
because I already made the decision.
I kind of get a sense of what you're talking about there. That you put you actually put some time and effort into your planning, and so it seems like you're thinking, okay, where do I want to go? What do I want to achieve? How do I want to plan my time?
Right.
Make your plan so that if this something else comes along, or even if nothing comes along, if you're just looking at, well, I don't want to make the plan because something might come along
right
down the road, that you're already saying, no, my plan's taking me to my top choice.
Totally.
And so then anything that comes in might be a temporary fun, but it's not taking me to my top choice. I already made that plan to go there, and so you can kind of keep yourself in that spot. That's a good way to do it. Good way to manage that.
Yeah. Jake Kirby says, my students that are college athletes are much more scheduled and tend to be more disciplined at studying because they have planned time to study. Other freshmen are somewhat paralyzed at the huge amount of free time. It's so true. And often don't study as much despite having way more time. Yeah, I think that's a perfect example. Because our free time isn't really free time.
Right.
Because there are things that are going to come in the future, and then all of a sudden we're like, oh, I am not prepared. Where did all my free time go? Because it wasn't planned.
I felt that too. I mean, I remember even in high school being a better student in season, and then I always had, for me, I played a winter sport and a spring sport, and so the fall was always my free time when I was down, and definitely you find yourself, I don't know, like watching TV and stuff, and it's because you have decisions always. What should I do with this minute? What should I do with this minute? What should I do with this minute? And it's really tempting in the moment to be like TV. But when you're like, no, I have no minutes. Like,
right.
Do you want to watch TV? No, because I have practiced this long. I've got 20 minutes before I have to get to bed, and I have not done this homework yet. There are no decisions to be made. It is go.
What is that quote that your mom says? If you want something done, ask the busy people.
Yeah. Yeah, because the busy people do stuff.
Yeah, they're always doing stuff. Sheila Nova says, good morning, Sheila Nova. I totally used to do the same thing. I'm actually in Jake and Witt's mastermind. Woohoo!
So fun to have you in there.
Yes. And you should totally sign up for the next one.
Agree. MVP Sheila Nova on Coffee and Connection.
That's so awesome. I've been sticking to my plan in ways that I thought I never could. Yes, even when my emotions feel like overriding it. That's awesome. Annalise said, what if you had planned to work on writing your book one evening and that morning someone said they had an extra ticket to a concert you want to see? Would you change your plan? Absolutely not. No, and call me boring or nerdy, but in 6 months I'll have that book written and it'll feel amazing.
And then you go to
But
concerts?
that's a good question. And then I can plan a concert for my reward.
I'd take the ticket and then sell it on eBay. Keep the cash, write the book.
Yeah, you would.
Just kidding, I wouldn't do that.
All right, next question.
Oh, there's no other questions.
Oh, there's not?
No,
What?
I just did two in the one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those are... Remember we had kind of a hustle morning? Those are the old questions. There's two more icons on our side. They're the questions from the last Coffee and Connection.
So let's just stare at each other awkwardly.
Let's not do that.
Totally kidding. I'm just kidding.
I knew you were kidding. One thing I was going to say that it reminds me of is kind of like having a budget. And that's what you mentioned at one time. It's the what are you trading, and the same thing with writing the book. That on one hand, in the moment, it feels like, what am I trading, a concert or this day of writing? No, what am I trading, a concert or my book? Mm-hmm. And so when you have the budget, it's the same thing. It's like okay, my money's here, and then this comes along. Ooh, I'd really like that. That would be a cool thing to buy. Okay, well then what am I not gonna do? Pay my mortgage? It has to come from somewhere. It's got to come from someplace. That it didn't just appear. Mm-hmm. If you had it planned, it could go to something. even if it's rest, and I don't mean to say there's no time for rest or no time for just, sit down, chill out, watch a movie, but I'm just saying that, it's good when I plan. What I like about it, my favorite part of planning, is that I can see what I'm trading. I can always
Right.
look and see, okay, I'm making a choice here, how to spend this time. What am I trading?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. And I think the more you get into the practice of planning and then honoring your plan, you, one, see the fruit of it, like you have, Sheila Nova. You start living from a place of discipline that feels really good. And then you're also really goal oriented. Like, instead of saying, because I used to set a goal and then try and like work really, really, really hard to achieve that one goal, but it wasn't who I was, because all my habits were like drinking wine, watching TV, eating dinners. And so my environment didn't align with being a goal-oriented person, because I just wouldn't plan to be that way. And so now that I plan to be more like that, it's easier, and I actually really enjoy it.
What I'm worst at in this process is taking the time to make the plan. Like I love having the plan, and I love, what am I going to do next? Let me look at the list. Oh, I love checking it off the list. Why do I like checking off the list? Because it takes away the decision fatigue. I'm not the one always deciding. It's the same reason that like you say so much that you like when you go to work out, to have someone else leading the workout. Even though Whitney's great at writing workouts and she's a brilliant leader of workouts, she could absolutely lead her own workout, but it's more enjoyable to just be like, I'm just going to do what you say. Mm-hmm. Tell me, here we go. Here's, workout. Because it takes away all that decision-making process. I love that. I love that experience. I love that feeling. But, oh my gosh, I am so terrible at taking the time to actually make the plan. Good thing I have her. I mean, I just wake up in the morning and I look at my calendar. I'm like, what did Whitney put on it? I can just
You're taking a page to here at this time, and but it is really helpful. Yeah. And I know that you don't like planning, so. Do you guys plan your weekends? I'm curious about that. Just kind of wrapping up this conversation. I'm curious who really plans or structures their weekends. And I think when you have kids, it's a lot easier. Because
or at least more imperative, more important.
Yeah, because there's a certain feeding time, nap time, birthday parties, whatever. But I really like, especially weekends that we do have Paige, and even though she's totally fine being by herself or entertaining herself, taking care of herself, I love on a Saturday being like, okay, now it's lunchtime. Now we're going to go do this fun thing, and then we're going to watch a movie or, whatever it is, but like plan recreational time. I love, because I really don't enjoy trying to make the decision in the moment. I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
So even on the weekends, I love planning. Jennifer, I knew you planned your weekends. Yes. Braxton probably really appreciates that. And you also said, yes, I'm working hard on changing my habits and making a to-do list each morning, but I'm trying to do it the evening before, so I'm already ready to go in the morning and just jump in. Yeah, and then I would be curious, Jennifer, if you put your to-do list in actual time slots with a certain amount of time that you only allow yourself to get that done. I found that really helpful. Jennifer Holly, are you not teaching today? Or no, you don't teach. I'm thinking of someone else. But you're usually at work, and I thought you said you had students. I used to plan a lot more than I do now. Now we mostly are planned around the kids' schedules. Otherwise, we just go. Yeah, totally. When you have kids, you really don't have an option but to plan.
Yeah, I think the last thing that I think about on this topic is you're very good at and helping me get better at that old, when you see someone and you're like, we should really get together. We should hang out. We should, do whatever. She's getting in a good habit of saying, how about Friday, 7 p.m.? Get a date, get a time. Let's make this happen. Otherwise, it's not going to happen. And so that's kind of a cool one where I think that planning is, I think planning gets thumbs up in that regard.
We're across the street visiting our elderly neighbors. They're probably in their 80s.
One
close to their
80s,
90s.
190s, yeah.
Yeah. And they're so cute. And they're moving. They're selling their house. Bless God, it's going for a high price, so that's awesome. But they are going to be, I think, packing all their stuff next week. They'll have movers.
This weekend, I think they start, yeah.
Oh, this weekend.
Yeah.
And so we were over there. We brought them some pumpkin bread and just said hello, and which is something we were wanting to do for a long time.
We had planned it.
Yeah, we did. And so they were telling us that they were planning on moving, and I was like, oh, we've been meaning to have you over for dinner for way too long. How about in 2 weeks on Friday? And they're like, well, I think we're free.
So they're coming this Friday.
Yeah, so we're gonna cook
and then they're
them.
moving the weekend.
Yeah. So they're gonna come over. We're gonna cook them some salmon and veggies, and the woman is in a wheelchair, but I think anyway. So super fun, very cute. But it never would have happened if we wouldn't have jumped on the opportunity. Deb and Gary, they're in Iceland.
Say hi to the Northern Lights this evening.
That's so awesome. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to see tons of pictures. Lots of pretty pictures. Although I hear that it's really green in Iceland.
That's true. But the Northern Lights are what we want to see.
Oh. Jennifer said, I'm just working on total habit makeover. Nice, I like that makeover. I'm way too much of a procrastinator and most of it is because I think it has to be perfect before I do anything. That's so true. B- work. I agree. And Jake says my work and after school days are so planned already that my freedom is breaking away from a planned time on Saturday. Planned spontaneity, I suppose. Nice.
It's a real thing. We were laughing at it, but it's real. It's two people that have said it's real.
It's a unicorn. It's real. Yeah.
Hey, Katie.
What's up, Katie? Man, we had so much engagement today.
You guys were fun. You must be having a good Wednesday.
Yeah. Thanks for spicing up our Wednesday, too.
And we've got a stacked up schedule today, which is always fun. Go, go, go.
We do?
We do.
I thought we were just going to watch TV today.
I've seen it in the calendar. I looked in the calendar that you made, and I saw no white spaces. Different colors all the way down.
Yeah, but I actually, if I'm going to be totally transparent and completely vulnerable, I need to put some bathroom breaks in there and some moments to just breathe. I'm just kidding. Jake said, and I would totally go to the concert. Connections with friends trump more work. Well, Jake.
Plan them.
Yeah. Well, I really enjoy this conversation. I love learning about all of you, especially seeing how many planners there are out in the world.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
And it was a fun conversation. Just to let you guys know, we have an awesome retreat coming up in March.
Oh my gosh.
Called Surf and Serve. And it's going to be in El Salvador.
A week of coaching with
6
us.
days.
In a hotel lobby? No, not exactly. It's going to be mixed with surfing, yoga, hiking, and serving the community of El Salvador.
Yeah.
Waterfalls. Can we jump off the waterfalls?
Yeah.
Whoa. Yes! We get to jump off waterfalls and surf. And surf. And learn.
So exciting, y'all. And we haven't even opened up our registration for it, but we will be, I think, next week. So
I've seen the webpage.
Ooh,
it's coming
lots
soon.
Of parts.
It just needs to be published.
Well, it is published.
Oh.
We just don't have an open registration.
Oh gotcha, it's just for a waiting list right now. Click the button for
So
a
if you want to get on the wait list, you can go to fit-bar.com and say, I'm interested, send me details. But we're super excited. And the hotel that we're staying at is actually my cousin's husband's hotel. He's a professional surfer coach.
Yeah, training a guy for the Olympics, for the first surfing Olympics.
Yeah.
So the guy from El Salvador hopefully will be his guy
Marcelo.
that goes in there.
Super fun.
And I hear that it's warm there in March when we're going. So if you live someplace cold like South Dakota, may want to.
Is that where Jake Kirby lives?
Mhm.
Oh. Yeah, Jake. South Dakota in March.
I think El
El
Salvador.
Salvador sounds way better. Katie asked if we're taking Duke. No, we're not. We're going to have to find a...
He doesn't have a passport.
Yeah, that's right. A sitter for 6 days. That's a long time. 6 nights.
So if anybody wants to come stay at the house, lake house for 6 days.
Oh,
March.
yeah. House sitters? Anyone?
If you ever want to look at a lake when it's freezing outside.
All right, y'all. Well, you guys have a fabulous Wednesday. Jennifer says Wellness Wednesday. I love that. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
See ya.